Hi, welcome back to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith. I know you guys would probably enjoy seeing a gameplay episode here instead of another filler episode, but I feel like I need to acknowledge the wrap-up of our fundraiser. I want to tell you guys about a contest that you can enter, show you some miniatures, and cover some other things. And so we're going to try to blaze through this as quickly as possible and then try to get to a gameplay episode really soon. Now, one of the reasons why we've been delayed in announcing what the next gameplay series is going to be is I'm waiting on a couple of games that are going to be arriving in the mail, and I think they might be a good fit. And it might be a chance for us to get Andrea back at the table with us as well. So I'm just trying to time everything just so, and we're right here in the Christmas season, so you can imagine things are a bit busy and crazy. But one of the games that I really want to try to get to, hopefully before Christmas, is our live playthrough game. Remember the fundraiser I talked about trying to play a game with all of you live on the internet, as many of you as can possibly attend. I had a chance to test this out. My buddies Jamie and Brian from the Secret Cabal Gaming Podcast, they joined us for a little private game through Google Hangout, trying Zombicide, and it worked really well, except, again, the video quality. Now, I have a really nice webcam now I picked up especially for this purpose. The only problem is my upload speeds are terrible. So sometimes it's crisp, it's HD, it looks wonderful, and then other times it just kind of dies and it gets fuzzy and not very good looking at all. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. And so I'm thinking right now I'm going to try to use Ustream and see how that works, because you can actually adjust the quality level. So maybe I can throttle the level of quality that I'm sending through my upload, and it will keep it consistently good rather than great and bad and bouncing back and forth between that. So I'm going to do a couple more tests, but I will announce that. You guys will know in advance. If you're following us on Facebook, you'll see us announce it there. On Twitter, I'll also make a quick little video. So as long as you're following us on one of those things, you'll know about the Zombicide playthrough before it happens. I also want to very selfishly plug a game I found on Indiegogo.com. The publisher of the game doesn't know I'm doing this. There's no connection there. It's just I backed this particular game because I really think Andrea's going to like it. She loves sushi. She likes Seven Wonders, and I think of this game as Seven Wonders wrapped in a sushi roll. So it hasn't quite met its funding yet. So check out the video. If you think this is a game that you might enjoy, or maybe you and your kids would enjoy, then maybe it's one you would consider backing. Tom Vassell over at the Dice Tower already did one of his preview videos for it, so you can check that out. But there's a really, really nice animated video at the Indiegogo fundraiser page, which I think gives you a pretty good idea of how this game is going to work. So again, look in the description below. We'll put a link there for it. In one of our previous episodes, I showed you guys some Superhero Squad content that we were going to give away. We haven't done it yet, so let's do that right now, or at least let's announce the contest for it. So Superhero Squad is a collectible card game. It's a light one. It's one that Luke and I have played quite a bit, and we're going to give away this playmat that goes with the game. You can't get this actually with the game, so this is a separate accessory, and it has, of course, Hulk crushing the earth on here, as well as some locations to show you where to play your cards. That's very handy, very functional playmat. Along with that, we're going to be giving away the two-player starter set. And this comes with enough for 2 players to play the game, as well as a couple of randomized boosters. So there's some unique content in this as well. So this and this playmat will give away to one of the winners. And then we're also going to give away to the second prize winner, which is still, in my mind, is like a first prize because I love this playmat. This has got Thor riding a unicorn. And there's beautiful butterflies in the picture, and rainbows, and waterfalls. So I kept one of these for myself. I think this is a fantastic playmat. So one of you guys is going to get this as well. And all you have to do to enter the contest is really simple. Just send us an email at watchitplayed@live.com and just put in the subject heading Superhero Squad Contest, and you'll automatically be entered. And we'll have the draw for this. Let's say you should have your entries to us by December 20th, 2012. Maybe we can have the draw and everything done before Christmas. So a couple of you will get an early announcement of a Christmas present that's coming your way. So thank you, Jason Brenner at Upper Deck, for sending these along to us to give away. You guys might have heard me talk about Jason because he's associated with Legendary as well, the deck building game we did a series on. And I'm pleased to announce that they are already announcing expansions for that game. August 2013, I believe, is going to be the first expansion for that. But anyway, it's nice to see that the game's being supported. So if that's a game you've enjoyed, then that's good news for you. Now, if you followed us on Facebook, you've heard me talk about a game, Blood Bowl. And I've never played this game, but I've always been attracted to it. I've always been interested in it. And I can't really explain why, because I'm not, a serious sports guy or anything like that, but I've always liked the idea of these fantasy creatures gearing up in football gear and then going head-to-head on a pitch in a bloody and brutal game of what isn't even really football or rugby. This is much more intense and brutal. So let me just show you some of these models I picked up from another company that creates fantasy football miniatures that can also be used with Blood Bowl. And I'll tell you a little bit about my plans for Blood Bowl in the coming year. Over the last few weeks, I've been slowly, very slowly, picking through the Blood Bowl rules. I haven't made a lot of progress, but I really hope to make a push on it in the new year because I've been talking to my pal Jamie over at the Secret Cabal Gaming podcast. He also enjoys this game. He's never played the tabletop version either, but he's played the PC game, which runs very, very similarly. But he picked up a dwarf team that he could play on the tabletop version. So I went ahead and I picked up a Norse team of miniatures so that he and I could have a match at Gen Con 2013. We're both going to try to learn the rules and have a really fun game there. The miniatures you're seeing here I picked up from a website called Grebo. They make their own line of fantasy football miniatures. I'm going to put a link to that in the show description. They also make another fantasy football game of their own called Tutatis, which uses even smaller miniatures on a smaller pitch. I picked up some of those actually because I wanted to give it a try. I was curious. The rules you can find online for free. But these miniatures here, I was particularly interested in the Norse team. That's the one I want to play against Jamie. And I told Grebo that I'd be interested in letting our viewers know about their products, and they very kindly agreed to throw in a second team for us, so I have some Rat team members as well. And this will really help me play the game because now I'll have two teams to experiment with. Now, I would say these are not miniatures for beginners. There's definitely some assembly required, and you're going to need some patience and a steady hand, but I'm really pleased with the end result. I love the poses of the miniatures. I think they're very dynamic. I think the detailing is great. I cannot wait to start painting them up. Speaking of assembling miniatures, one of the reasons why this episode was a little bit delayed in coming out is because I've been creating some video ads for Dan over at the Discount Game Store. He hired me to do a couple of videos that are going to show up on his channel, so don't worry, we're not going to start filling up all of our episodes with ads. But I would definitely encourage you to check them out. These are videos, very, very short, 1 and 2 minute videos that will just highlight a product that he's selling and how to use it. Now, these are things for assembling and putting together miniatures as well as painting miniatures. I've had a chance to use those products. Actually, I used them to assemble these miniatures, and they were really, really helpful. So I suggest you subscribe to his channel. It's at youtube.com/discountgamestore. We'll put a link below. And I want to thank Dan for hiring us. That helps us with the show and support it and keep it going, so I appreciate that very much. Also, our fundraiser came to an end. I am so thrilled with the results. I couldn't be any more grateful than I am, and I know there's no adequate way for me to express that through this video, but hopefully you get a sense of it. At the beginning of this year, my wife and I, we sat down, we talked about, how much money would I really need to raise through Watch It Played for me to justify spending as much time as I knew I'd be spending on it and taking that time away from other money-making projects that I would normally do to help support the family. And we came up with a figure, and we met that figure, and the only reason we did that is because of you. We're not tabletop. The publishers aren't falling over themselves to get on our show or anything like that. But because of your enthusiasm for our show and you're seeing value in it, we've been able to do this the entire year, and it looks like we're going to be doing it into the following year. And I'm really, really excited about that. So thank you guys very much. Hopefully you guys can see just how much I enjoy making this series and my true passion for board gaming and being able to play these games, show you guys how they work, and play them with you has been just an amazing experience. To feel connected to the gaming community at large has been so great. So thank you for allowing me to do it, and thank you for supporting us. I know some of you were a little bit disappointed because we didn't quite reach the goal in our fundraiser where I said we'd be able to put up the walls, but guys, we got so close that it was certainly close enough. And I'll tell you something even better, some people donated to our series outside of the fundraiser. So actually we did reach our goal. We just got over top of it because of some of those direct donations. So my father, who lives a little bit of a ways from me, he's going to make a special trip to come help me build those walls. We're going to put those up in a couple of weeks, and I really hope that that's going to enhance what we're able to do on the series and improve the look of it. Green screen, I love you. You've done a good job. I appreciate it. But I'm really looking forward to kicking it up a notch a little bit more. That's just something I want to be able to do is, one thing we don't do on this series is talk about the numbers. We don't talk about how many subscribers we have. We don't talk about how many views we have. And that's a personal choice. For me, I want everyone who's watching to feel like they are personally interacting with us rather than it being about the numbers. And so that's something that I really want to be able to maintain as we move forward is, again, to create a really quality experience here when you watch our show, that you feel connected with us personally. I believe if that's my focus, then the numbers will take care of themselves, and hopefully that's something that you guys resonate with as well. Now, if you donate to the series, you should have gotten an email from me thanking you for donating to the series and mentioning some of the perks that you're eligible for. If you didn't get that email, maybe it went to your junk folder, maybe I missed you. I think I got everybody, but there's a chance I missed some of you. In the next couple of weeks, sometime before December 20th, I'll have sent out another batch of emails to just remind you again if there's a perk that you selected, how we can try to fulfill that for you if it isn't already. We've got all the pins in the map, which is fantastic. These are all the people who donated in the last fundraiser. Some areas, look, it just got so crowded. I had to give up and just started putting the pins around the other pins, not necessarily exactly where they went. But some of the other perks we're going to have to satisfy over the next coming weeks, and we'll try to schedule that and do that as best as we're able. If you still want to support the show by donating to it, you can. You can do it two ways. One way is you can send us a direct donation to watchitplayed@live.com. That's a PayPal account. And we'll keep track of the perk levels. Any of the perk levels you saw on our fundraiser at Indiegogo, if you donate at one of those levels, we'll continue to add those perk levels to you. So if you still want to be a producer or an editor, you have access to those. I keep a good spreadsheet, and I'll keep track of that for you. The other way is you can go to the Discount Game Store on their website, which I'll put a link to down below. They have a Watch It Played section on the left side of the screen. You go into that. Any of the games you buy there, those are games that we've picked out personally here. Both Andrea, Luke, and I, all of us, have picked out. And if you buy any of those games, then some of the proceeds from those sales come back to us. So thanks, Dan, for doing that. If you live across the pond in the UK, our friend Lewis over at the World of Fantasy Games, his online store, if you just let them know when you're making a purchase that you're a viewer of Watch It Played, he's also going to kick back a little bit of something to us as well, which is very kind. The practical realities of money aside, I just want to thank all of you guys so much for contributing to our series in all the ways that you have. People have sent us games. Listen, as a gamer, who isn't going to love receiving new games? And I tell you something, I never want to be showy about that. I do the unboxing videos because I want to thank the people who take the time to send us something. I want to show them how much we're appreciating what they're doing. Because as a gamer, who isn't going to appreciate that, right? At the same time, though, all of the interaction that you guys have with us is so meaningful. Why are we gamers? There's so many reasons to be a gamer, but one of the biggest one has got to be the social aspect of it, interacting with other human beings who share an interest in what you have an interest in. And we get to do that all the time through this series because of you guys interacting with us. And I really appreciate the time that you take out of your day to watch our show and then talk to us about it. It's really, really great. Anyway, guys, this has been a long episode. I apologize for that. But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys really soon.